Hello and greetings. Welcome. My name is Ben Norman. I'm an English teacher at Fargo South, and I'm joined today by the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Grant Craft. Grant, everyone knows who you are, but could you just quickly introduce yourself?
I'm a Latin teacher on the south side of Fargo and was a committee member here in the endorsement process.
Yeah, and we're joining you today, hopefully just 5 minutes or so of your time, just to give you a run through of what we've been up to. We've been busy. Everyone's busy. I mean, we had Teacher Appreciation Week and ate a lot of donuts, and we've been trying to get through the rest of this semester. But our panel has been quite busy. So let's give you a run through of our process on this little school board election thing coming up. So who we are a small panel of educators who are volunteering within the FEA to we wanted to get information on these candidates. There are 15 candidates who are running for school board. That's historic. There's never been this many folks running for a school board election. And we just wanted to get to know them and gather information on them and potentially endorse after we were done gathering information on them. And we started planning this way back in January. We conducted Zoom interviews last month. That took some time and effort and energy, but we did it and we interviewed everyone. And why? Our why is because it's important to be engaged and informed, and we want not just our union members to know who these folks are, but also the community at large too. We should all better get to know who is running for the school board. It's a big election coming up this January. So how we did it, we created and sent out a written questionnaire. Almost everybody responded to it. It was wonderful. And then we hosted Zoom interviews from 2 to 7 p.m. for 3 days, Thursday, Friday, and a Monday. Everybody interviewed with us, all 15. It was wonderful. It was a lot. And we collected some data and we had lots of conversations. And this ultimately led us to be a pro-endorsement group for this campaign cycle and selecting these 5 candidates in alphabetical order: Melissa Burkland, Katie Christensen, Greg Clark, Nyamal Dei, and Lyn Telford. Like you said, we started as just an information gathering committee. We did that very well. We collected more than 13,000 words from the written questionnaires alone, and then the videos of all 15 candidates combined together over 10 hours of video. What do you do with all this information? So we had lengthy conversations. And Grant, could you walk us through some of the reasons why we chose to endorse this cycle?
Yeah, I think ultimately the crowded field had us thinking the educators are looking for some assistance sorting through this crowd of 15 candidates and trying to help people understand what we saw in the candidates, having sat down with them all for 45 minutes each, which we recognize not everybody gets that opportunity to do that. And so we feel like we've had a good chance to get to know these candidates, and we wanted to share kind of our findings with our own members and the broader community. We know that not every member of FEA is going to vote 100% in lockstep with any kind of endorsement that FEA would ever make. But these endorsements are just based on the answers that were given to us on the policy-centered questions that are going to impact students and teachers. And so even if you find yourself not supportive of every candidate on this list, we would ask you to very strongly look at these candidates because we think that these 5 candidates are ones that deserve your vote, are ones that you should really strongly consider. Having gone through the legwork to interview all these candidates, our committee and the FEA Executive Board both felt very confident in making these recommendations to you as a voter in this election.
Exactly. And it's historically crowded, right? We get it. It takes a lot of time and effort, and we've done that legwork, like Grant was saying, and we're excited to introduce to you these 5 candidates. Just briefly, you're going to get to know them quite a bit more, hopefully, before Election Day, but here they are. So starting with Melissa Burkland, she is a mother of 2 elementary students on the north side. She is a proud Fargo South alum, go Bruins. And you might know her mother, you might have known her mother. Her mother is Nancy Burkland, and she was a prominent principal and educator in the Fargo community. She just recently passed away. And Melissa told us during the interview that her recent passing was very much a motivator for her to get involved with the election, to continue on her legacy. Melissa also works as an assistant to the United States attorney. She's an attorney. She works in law. She knows her way around policy. Grant, what's one thing that excites you about Melissa?
I thought Melissa is full of passion for the role. And I guess if I had one other word for her, she's energized. Like, she's ready to go. And that was really exciting to see some fresh personality come to the table and be excited about the work that the school board has in front of it, to be energized and passionate about it.
100%. Next up, we have Katie Christensen. She is a mother of 2 children who go to Fargo North. Katie is heavily involved and connected on the North Side. She's done work with the PTA, coaching basketball, and helping out with theater. She's a nonprofit state leader, and she's also a former teacher. What's something that excites you about Katie, Grant?
I think that former educator piece can't be overlooked in this election. She is one of the few that is running for a seat on the board that is a former educator herself. And to have that experience firsthand is going to be really important as you're sitting at the boardroom table trying to make decisions that will ultimately affect teachers and students.
Definitely. Next up, Greg Clark. He is a self-described cat's dad and a husband to a teacher. The teacher works in West Fargo, and she's also a building representative. He works at Sanford in data analysis. He's got his master's in poli-sci from Syracuse. They've been in the FM area for the last 10 years. What do you like about Greg, Grant?
I think, to put it as simply as I can, Greg gets it. He gets it. And his wife's a teacher. And so you can imagine a decision that's made at the school board is a decision that's going home to his kitchen table as well and being talked about there. And I just think that that's really important, to have somebody that you're close to who is currently involved in the education system, that you can rely on, that you can get their experiences and understand a little bit more about what it is that we all do every day, because you know it from the experiences of somebody nearby you.
Definitely. Also, check out Greg's website. He has a full page just about his cats, and it's wonderful. It's a great 2 minutes. Nyamal Dei is a mother to a daughter who goes to Fargo Davies. Nyamal is a refugee from South Sudan, and she ended up in the United States and has earned her master's in public health. She's the founder and director of a community nonprofit, and you might recognize her. She ran in 2018 in the school board election and almost got on. She placed 5th, but they only took the top 4 in 2018. Grant, what's one thing that Nyamal excites you?
I think Nyamal's background, her history, being a refugee from South Sudan, she understands that education is an opportunity, and it's an opportunity that we get here in this country that some other places you don't get, especially as a woman of color. I don't want to overlook that in this election. She is somebody who understands education, she understands the importance of it, and she places a great value on it.
Wonderful. And last but certainly not least, Lyn Telford rounds out our 5 endorsed candidates. Lyn is a mom of 2 students who go to Kennedy Elementary. She works at Sanford as an accreditation manager, and she also worked there before as a registered nurse. She's also on the Fargo Board of Public Health and has a bit of experience with legislation and advocacy, and I know that excites you, Grant.
Some of the candidates asked us in the interviews, what do you think is the most important issue coming up in the next 4 years? And my answer to every one of them was the legislature. And so to have somebody who understands the legislature, who has advocated at a national level, I think will be really important as we go forward in the next year, really, but even looking 4 years ahead. So much of what we do in education comes down to decisions that are made in Bismarck, and we need somebody on the board who understands that and can advocate for us in front of the legislature alongside of us.
Right. Wonderful. So those are our candidates. Very briefly, just a quick run through of who they are and how we came to this decision. It was not an easy decision. We spent a lot of hours, volunteered hours, countlessly, just working through our process and working together to come to these conclusions. And now we have an ask for you. We want you to help us out however you can, to the capabilities you're able to. We know you're busy, but we need your help. And you can do so by so easy. You're going to fill out this Google form below, and you're going to become engaged in the process however you see fit, right? If it's just with social media, sharing a couple posts here and there, we love it, we'll take it. If it's a little bit more active, you can click those options as well, whatever works best for you. And you make sure to follow us on Facebook. You're going to learn more about the candidates there. We'll be sharing more about them and their stories and their platforms. And of course, there's this little thing called the election. It's coming up June 14th, 2022. You're going to vote either on election day or before. You're going to request your ballot for absentee or early voting. We're going to vote. We're going to rock the votes. And yeah, that's what we're up to. Anything else, Grant, before we sign off?
I think a lot of people would take full advantage of the opportunity to vote for their boss. And in a way, the school board is the boss of educators. And so take full advantage. Here you go, Fargo. Take a vote for your boss.
Wonderful. Until next time, thanks everybody. We'll see you around.